Welcome back to Life to the Max. You know, there's something kind of good about the good old days. That's why we call them the good old days. Farming practices have changed over the years. But when the pioneers came here, they too were on the cutting edge. Rich Kronfeld takes us back, a very unique look at what was.
It was another era, another time. Not long after the pioneers set forth on the Oregon Trail, the sodbusters came in and shook the prairie with their H.G. Wells-like steam-breathing, cog-driven contraptions. This country would never be the same. These great machines transformed the Midwest into America's breadbasket.
Hi, I'm Rich Kronfeld. We're here at the Pioneer Power Show in southern Minnesota, where they have on display all kinds of vintage farming machines, tractors, and threshing machines. And if I can get my inhaler, I think I'll be able to make it through the rest of the afternoon.
Ever since I was a young man, I always wanted to attend a good old-fashioned threshing show. I truly feel that I have a link with the land. It may be because I share the same birthday, February 7th, with the godfather of the green, Mr. John Deere himself. Or it just may be because I have always loved the feel of the rich soil on my bare feet. I notice that you steer it through a joystick. Today in Sueur County in southern Minnesota, with my personal agro-expert tour guide, Dave Irie, I get to experience a taste of the pre-microwave Midwest.
This is the 36th annual Pioneer Power Threshing Show that started, probably had roots back in the bicentennial year of 1976. We've got slightly over 100 acres on this site, and we also have about 400 to 500 members.
Looks like they're really enjoying it. Looks like they're really having a ton of, a great time.
This is a great hobby.
Dave and I started our day by watching one of the greatest parades I've ever seen. It was nothing but tractors. Tractors of every kind. Big and small, short and tall, steam-powered, diesel-powered, ones which drove by themselves. There were all types. You name it. It was a Johnny Cash song. There were Farmalls and Cases, Minneapolis Molines, and International Harvesters. There were Olivers, and my personal favorite was well represented. As the crowd watched in amazement, the green of the John Deere, whose birthday I share, by the way, stole the show. I honestly saw people crying at the beauty of these metal masterpieces. Well, Dave and I were overcome with emotion ourselves. I had to have a Pronto Pup. As I walked away, I glanced back to catch one last amazing sight, a fleet of vintage riding lawnmowers driving in formation.
The Austin Pup has got Spam in the middle. This is all Pronto Pup batter. The Egg Pup is a hard-boiled egg. The Cheese Pup it's a hunk of American cheese, and it gets gushy gooey like a grilled cheese. The foot-long Pronto Pup and the original 1941 Pronto Pup.
Okay.
Take a hunk of Spam and you just dip it in. This is 100% Pronto Pup batter.
Oh, cool. Well, this is my first Austin Pup ever, and it probably will be my last, because it is like eating bacon and a donut at the same time.
After lunch, Dave and I decided to venture into the wondrous land of fossilized earth-moving equipment.
We're on a 1947 International Harvester TD18 dozer.
Do you want to start this thing up for us?
Yes, we'll try starting her up. Wow.
Listen to that. There was something magical about wandering the grounds of this Pioneer Power Show. The vintage agro eye candy was almost too much to comprehend. It was Mayberry meets the Waltons. Okay, so Dave, tell me a little bit more about like these kinds of old gas stations.
Well, this was a gas station that was typically found out in the rural areas.
So there's no convenience store inside.
No convenience store inside.
How about those hot dog rollers that they have? No hot dog roller?
No, I don't think so.
Hot dog rolling machines with
I don't think so, no.
3-year-old hot dogs on them?
No, I don't think they did that then.
After a vintage bottle of 7-Up, it was time to check out Clark Vandermeer's 1912 Case Steamer. What did they use this primarily for?
This was Case's general purpose engine. It was used for a lot of belt work, stump pulling, road grading, that kind of thing. Threshing machines, sawmills.
This tractor is sort of like the MySpace, and then the gas or diesel power is kind of like the Twitter. like of it, the technology of the time.
Yes, in modern day terms, that would be correct. The steam engines replace the horse, and the gas tractors replace the steam engines.
What was there before horses?
People.
People.
You did it by hand. Well, everybody asks me how you start a steam engine, and we start it with a key. That's the key. One-time use only.
So Clark, can we go on a little ride on this thing?
We sure can.
Okay. Could I pull the whistle?
Yes,
It's got
you
a
can.
whistle, right?
Yep.
Does this sit here?
That's that one there.
All right.
Give her a good pull.
And what kid doesn't dream of riding 4 miles per hour in a 100-year-old steam-powered sodbuster? For the next 15 minutes, this century-old case transported me back to simpler times. Back to the days of Teddy Roosevelt and the Wright brothers. How I longed to work the farm again. Dave insisted our next stop be his favorite place on the entire grounds, the giant engine that powered the entire town of Sueur, Minnesota.
There are 5 minutes to 9. The lights that blink on off, and that gave you 5 minutes to get your jammies on and get your teeth brushed, because at 9 o'clock the power went off. It didn't come on again until in the morning.
John Claes was one of the geniuses who restored this behemoth back in the 1970s.
How does it make you feel to see it start up again now?
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's got a good sound to it if it starts. We had it running last Saturday and started all right. It's got to be warm.
And with those words, it was time to power the old girl up again. With a pull of a switch and the turning of some knobs and some silent coaxing, the old cougar started to purr again. And to the amazement of the bystanders, the powerhouse again cranked with energy. Enough to, in today's standards, power a coffee maker. After a glimpse of the amazing belt-driven steam-powered sawmill, Dave brought me over to the Pioneer Power's own railroad.
All the track is all handmade. The rail, we purchase the rail, we bend it, we cut the ties, we bolt it together, we make the switches, it's all handmade.
It's an amazing amount of work. How long did it take you guys to finish this?
It took about 3 years to build this whole track layout that we've got here right now.
It's all electric. It's got 4 motors under it, one on each pair of wheels.
This 7.5 gauge wonder wraps around the south end of the grounds and can carry up to 5 or 6 people per train.
And all eras of rail travel are represented here today. We have diesel, steam, and electric.
Hank Conklin stoked his miniature tender with coal. And like that, the old steamer was ready to take me on a tour of southern Minnesota.
We're on a steam train. We're going maybe about 4 miles an hour. It's very through the woods here. It's very, very nice.
As we chugged across the rolling cornfields of southern Minnesota, I couldn't help but imagine the Engels family taking these very tracks to Walnut Grove as they ventured to their little house on the prairie.
Behind me is a threshing machine. Neil Young once said, "When the thresher comes, I'll be stuck in the sun like the dinosaurs in shrines." I don't know what that means, but it has the word thresher in it. And behind me is a thresher.
Well, thrashing is sort of the heart of our show, and that's what many of the antique shows around the nation started out as thrashing shows. And really it was the method of harvesting grain, predominantly oats and wheat in this area.
These guys are threshing now. They're putting the hay bales. They're tied together with twine, and those blades at the top cut the twine to separate the individual stalks. This is the finished product here in my hand. These are the wheat berries that were separated from the stalks.
It was the perfect way to end a perfect day. I found myself unable to walk away from the Case 9000 threshing machine. This day brought me back to the earth and the days when the prairie was being converted to America's breadbasket. As the sun set on the 9000, I found a comfortable hay bale and quietly fell asleep.
When we come back, lace up the shoes, fasten the chin straps. It's time to play some real football. Stay with us on Life to the Max.
For more information on Life to the Max, go to our website at lifetothemax.tv.